Ancient philosophers' laws of life people should have learned earlier. Ancient philosophers have imparted timeless wisdom through their teachings, and many of their insights remain relevant today. Here are some key principles and laws of life from ancient philosophers that people could benefit from learning earlier. Socrates' famous dictum "Know thyself" encapsulates a profound philosophical principle that he considered foundational to a meaningful and virtuous life. This maxim, inscribed at the entrance of the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of self-awareness and introspection. Here's a closer look at what Socrates meant by know thyself and its implications. Self-examination. Socrates believed that individuals should engage in continuous self-examination, questioning their beliefs, values, and motivations. By scrutinizing one's own thoughts and actions, a person gains insight into their character and the reasons behind their choices. Awareness of ignorance. Socrates' philosophy centered on the idea that true wisdom comes from recognizing one's own ignorance. He argued that acknowledging what one does not know opens the door to learning and intellectual growth. Ethical living. Knowing oneself involves understanding one's moral compass and values. Socrates believed that a person who knows themselves well will be better equipped to make ethical decisions and lead a virtuous life. Authenticity. Socrates encouraged authenticity and living in accordance with one's true nature. Understanding one's strengths, weaknesses, and passions allows for a more genuine and fulfilling existence. Improved decision-making. Self-knowledge is essential for making informed decisions. By understanding their own desires, fears, and biases, individuals can make choices that align with their values and long-term goals. Relationships. Knowing oneself is crucial for building meaningful relationships. It enables individuals to communicate more effectively, express their needs, and engage in healthy interactions with others. Personal development. Socrates believed that the unexamined life is not worth living. Continuous self-reflection and self-awareness contribute to personal development and intellectual flourishing. Humility. The recognition of one's limitations fosters humility. Socrates, despite being considered wise by the oracle at Delphi, maintained a humble attitude, emphasizing that there is always more to learn. Know thyself is not just a call to introspection, it's an invitation to explore the depths of one's own consciousness and embrace a lifelong journey of self-discovery. Socrates believed that this pursuit of self-knowledge was the key to a virtuous and fulfilling life. While Confucius is often associated with the Golden Rule, it's essential to note that the wording attributed to him may differ from the familiar Christian formulation. Confucius, a Chinese philosopher who lived around 551 to 479 BCE, is best known for his teachings on ethics, morality, and social relationships. The Golden Rule in Confucianism is a concept known as the Silver Rule and is often expressed in negative terms. Do not impose on others what you do not wish for yourself. This formulation encourages individuals to refrain from actions that they would find undesirable if done to them. It reflects the Confucian emphasis on empathy, reciprocity, and the importance of harmonious social relationships. Here's an exploration of the key principles embodied in Confucius's version of the Golden Rule. Empathy. Confucius's rule encourages individuals to consider the feelings and perspectives of others. By imagining how certain actions might impact oneself, individuals can develop a sense of empathy and understanding. Reciprocity. The principle of reciprocity is central to Confucian ethics. It suggests that individuals should treat others with the same consideration and respect that they desire for themselves. This reciprocal approach contributes to the building of harmonious and just societies. Harmony in relationships. Confucius placed a strong emphasis on the importance of harmonious relationships within families, communities, and societies. The Golden Rule underscores the idea that individuals should contribute to the overall harmony and well-being of their social environments. Ethical conduct. The Silver Rule serves as a guide for ethical conduct. It encourages individuals to refrain from actions that may cause harm or distress to others, promoting a moral and virtuous way of life. Social responsibility. Confucius believed in the concept of benevolence, and stressed the importance of individuals fulfilling their social roles and responsibilities. The Golden Rule aligns with this idea by promoting a sense of social responsibility and ethical behavior. It's worth noting that while Confucius's teachings influenced Chinese culture and ethics significantly, the formulation of the Golden Rule may vary across different religious and philosophical traditions. The core principles of empathy, reciprocity, and ethical conduct, however, remain consistent in promoting a just and harmonious society. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who lived from around 55 to 135 CE, espoused the philosophy of Stoicism, which emphasizes personal virtue, rationality, and acceptance of things beyond one's control. One of Epictetus's key teachings is the principle of focusing on what one can control and accepting what one cannot. This principle is encapsulated in the famous Stoic mantra: control what you can, cope with what you can't, and concentrate on what counts. Here's a breakdown of the key ideas embedded in Epictetus's emphasis on focusing on what you can control. Internal focus. Epictetus encouraged individuals to direct their attention inward and focus on aspects of life that are within their control. This includes their thoughts, beliefs, values, and actions. Acceptance of external events. Central to Stoicism is the notion that external events and circumstances are often beyond our control. Epictetus advises accepting these external factors with equanimity and recognizing that one's true power lies in how they respond to these events. Mindful decision-making. By concentrating on what one can control, individuals are better positioned to make mindful and deliberate decisions. This approach can lead to a more reasoned and measured response to life's challenges. Reduced anxiety and stress. The Stoic practice of focusing on the controllable helps in reducing anxiety and stress. When individuals recognize the limits of their control, they can release the burden of trying to manipulate or change things beyond their influence. Freedom from external dependencies. Epictetus argued that true freedom comes from realizing that one's happiness and well-being are not dependent on external circumstances. By focusing on internal factors, individuals can cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment. Personal responsibility. Stoicism emphasizes taking responsibility for one's own thoughts and actions. By concentrating on what is within one's control, individuals become architects of their own character and destinies. Alignment with nature. Stoicism is aligned with the idea that individuals should live in harmony with the natural order of the universe. Focusing on what one can control is seen as aligning with this cosmic order and living in accordance with reason. Epictetus's teachings on control align with broader Stoic philosophy and continue to resonate as practical guidance for navigating life's challenges. By adopting a mindset that centers on the controllable and accepts the uncontrollable, individuals can cultivate resilience, wisdom, and a greater sense of inner peace. Aristotle, one of the most influential philosophers in Western thought, introduced the concept of the doctrine of the mean as a key component of his ethical theory. This idea is particularly articulated in his work Nicomachean Ethics. The doctrine of the mean suggests that virtue lies between extremes and that moral excellence is found in moderation. Here are the key aspects of Aristotle's doctrine of the mean. Virtue as a mean. Aristotle argued that virtues are the mean between vices. Virtue is not an extreme behavior but rather a balanced and moderate position between two extremes. For example, courage is the mean between recklessness and cowardice. Individualized virtue. The mean is not a fixed point, it is contextual and varies from person to person. What constitutes a moderate action depends on the situation, the individual, and cultural norms. Aristotle believed that virtue is a habit that involves making the right decisions at the right time and in the right way. Avoidance of extremes. Virtue, according to Aristotle, involves avoiding both excess and deficiency. Too much or too little of a particular quality can lead to vice. The virtuous person aims for a balance that is appropriate for the particular circumstances. Ethical decision-making. Aristotle's ethical theory is teleological, meaning it is concerned with the end goal or purpose of human life. Virtuous actions are those that contribute to the flourishing of human life. The doctrine of the mean provides a framework for making ethical decisions that lead to the best possible outcomes. Golden mean. The concept of the golden mean refers to the ideal middle ground between extremes. Aristotle used this metaphor to convey the idea that just as a golden mean is the most desirable middle point, so too is the virtuous mean in ethical decision-making. Practical wisdom, phronesis. Aristotle believed that practical wisdom, or phronesis, is crucial for determining the mean in specific situations. It involves a combination of rational thinking, experience, and moral insight. A virtuous person possesses practical wisdom to navigate complex moral decisions. Application to various virtues. Aristotle applied the doctrine of the mean to various virtues, such as courage, generosity, and honesty. In each case, he examined how the virtue lies between two extremes and how individuals can cultivate the habit of choosing the mean. Cultural and contextual considerations. Aristotle recognized that the mean is not a fixed point and can vary based on cultural and contextual factors. What may be considered courageous in one culture might differ from another. The mean is relative to the circumstances. Aristotle's doctrine of the mean provides a nuanced and practical approach to ethics, emphasizing the importance of balance, moderation, and individualized virtue. It continues to be a foundational concept in discussions of virtue ethics and moral philosophy. Lao Tzu, the legendary Chinese philosopher and founder of Taoism, introduced the concept of the way or the Tao. The essence of Lao Tzu's philosophy is encapsulated in the idea of living in accordance with the natural order of the universe. Here are key aspects of Lao Tzu's philosophy and the way of nature. The Tao as the way. Lao Tzu describes the Tao as the fundamental principle that underlies and unites the universe. It is the source and the essence of everything. The way of nature involves aligning one's life and actions with the natural flow of the Tao. Wu Wei, non-action. Central to Lao Tzu's philosophy is the concept of Wu Wei, often translated as non-action or effortless action. It does not imply complete inactivity but rather an action that is in harmony with the natural course of events. It is acting without unnecessary struggle or resistance. Harmony with the natural order. The way of nature encourages individuals to observe and align themselves with the natural rhythms of the world. This involves recognizing the ebb and flow of life and adapting one's actions to be in harmony with these natural cycles. Simplicity and humility. Lao Tzu advocates for simplicity and humility. Embracing the way of nature involves shedding unnecessary desires and attachments, embracing a humble and unassuming way of life. Yin and Yang. Lao Tzu's philosophy incorporates the concept of yin and yang, representing the dualistic nature of existence. The interplay between opposites, such as light and dark, is an integral part of the natural order, and understanding this balance is key to living in accordance with the Tao. Spontaneity and intuition. The way of nature encourages spontaneity and intuitive living. By letting go of rigid plans and preconceived notions, individuals can tap into a deeper wisdom and respond to situations with greater insight. Detachment. Lao Tzu advises cultivating a sense of detachment from worldly desires and outcomes. By letting go of attachment to outcomes, individuals can experience greater peace and contentment. Water as a metaphor. Lao Tzu often uses water as a metaphor for the Tao. Water is flexible, yet powerful, it yields and adapts. By emulating the qualities of water, individuals can better navigate the complexities of life. Natural virtue. Lao Tzu believes that by aligning with the Tao, individuals naturally cultivate virtues such as compassion, humility, and kindness. These virtues arise spontaneously when one lives in harmony with the way of nature. Transcending dualities. The way of nature transcends dualities and distinctions. Lao Tzu encourages individuals to go beyond conventional judgments of good or bad, beautiful or ugly, and to see the underlying unity in all things. Lao Tzu's philosophy emphasizes a holistic and interconnected view of life, urging individuals to embrace the simplicity, spontaneity, and balance inherent in the way of nature. It continues to inspire those seeking a profound and harmonious way of living. Plato's allegory of the cave is a metaphorical narrative found in Book 7 of his work, The Republic. It serves as an allegory to illustrate his philosophical views on education, enlightenment, and the nature of reality. Here's a summary of the allegory of the cave. The cave. The allegory begins with prisoners who have been chained inside a dark cave since birth. They are unable to turn their heads and can only see the wall in front of them. Behind them is a fire, and between the prisoners and the fire is a raised walkway. Objects passing along the walkway cast shadows on the wall in front of the prisoners. Shadows as reality. The prisoners, having never seen the outside world, believe that the shadows on the wall are the only reality. To them, these shadows represent the entirety of existence, and they create a system of meanings and understandings based solely on these shadows. The journey to the outside. One day, a prisoner is freed and exposed to the light of the fire and, eventually, to the sunlight outside the cave. Initially, the brightness of the sunlight hurts the freed prisoner's eyes, and he is disoriented by the unfamiliar surroundings. The sun as the form of the good. As the freed prisoner adjusts to the light, he begins to see the real world and realizes that the shadows in the cave were mere illusions. The sun, for Plato, represents the highest truth and the ultimate source of knowledge, akin to the form of the good in his philosophy. Return to the cave. The freed prisoner, now enlightened, feels a sense of duty to return to the cave and free the other prisoners. However, they resist and cannot comprehend his descriptions of the outside world, as their reality is confined to the shadows. Philosopher King. The allegory serves as a metaphor for Plato's idea of the philosopher king. The enlightened individual who has seen the truth and understands the forms, ideal, unchangeable concepts, should guide society. Plato believed that philosophers, with their love of wisdom, are best suited to lead because they pursue the highest truths. Key philosophical concepts conveyed through the allegory of the cave include the world of forms. Plato posited the existence of a realm of forms or ideas, abstract, unchangeable concepts that represent the true reality behind the imperfect physical world. The process of enlightenment. The journey of the prisoner from darkness to light symbolizes the process of philosophical education and enlightenment. It highlights the transformative power of knowledge and understanding. The philosopher's duty. The obligation of the enlightened individual to return to the cave and help others understand the truth emphasizes the ethical responsibility of those with knowledge and wisdom. Plato's allegory of the cave remains a powerful and enduring metaphor for the transformative nature of education, the pursuit of knowledge, and the challenges faced by those who seek to share their insights with a society confined by ignorance and misconception. On the Shortness of Life is a philosophical essay by the Stoic philosopher Seneca, written in the 1st century AD. In this work, Seneca reflects on the brevity of human life and encourages readers to make the most of their time. Here are some key themes and insights from Seneca's On the Shortness of Life. Temporal perspective. Seneca begins by addressing the misconception that life is short. Instead, he argues that people often squander their time due to a lack of awareness and purposeful living. He urges readers to examine how they use their time and to appreciate its value. The pursuit of pleasure. Seneca criticizes the common pursuit of pleasure and indulgence at the expense of meaningful activities. He suggests that people often engage in trivial and time-wasting pursuits that do not contribute to a fulfilling life. Learning and self-improvement. Seneca emphasizes the importance of continuous learning and self-improvement. He encourages individuals to cultivate their minds, engage in philosophical reflection, and pursue knowledge that contributes to personal growth. Quality versus quantity of life. Seneca argues that it's not the length of one's life that matters but the quality of it. Living a virtuous and purposeful life, he believes, leads to a sense of fulfillment regardless of the actual duration. Avoiding distractions. Seneca criticizes the distractions and busyness that keep people from focusing on what truly matters. He advocates for a deliberate and mindful approach to time management, avoiding unnecessary commitments and maintaining a clear sense of priorities. Freedom from external circumstances. Seneca teaches that one's happiness and well-being should not be dependent on external circumstances. By cultivating an inner sense of contentment and resilience, individuals can navigate life's challenges with greater equanimity. Preoccupation with the future. Seneca notes that many people either dwell on the past or anxiously anticipate the future, neglecting the present moment. He encourages readers to live in the here and now, making the most of each moment rather than worrying about what is to come. Philosophical detachment. Seneca advocates for a certain level of detachment from material possessions and social status. He suggests that true wealth lies in wisdom and virtue, and individuals should not be overly concerned with accumulating external markers of success. Facing mortality. Seneca prompts readers to confront the inevitability of death. Rather than fearing it, he suggests that contemplating mortality can help individuals appreciate the urgency of living a meaningful life and making the most of their time. Mindful reflection. Throughout the essay, Seneca encourages introspection and self-examination. By reflecting on one's values, actions, and priorities, individuals can align their lives with what truly matters and find greater fulfillment. Seneca's On the Shortness of Life remains a timeless piece of Stoic philosophy, offering profound insights into the nature of time, the pursuit of virtue, and the importance of living with purpose and mindfulness. The Four Noble Truths are foundational principles in Buddhism and form the core of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha's teachings. These truths encapsulate the essence of the Buddha's insights into the nature of existence and the path to liberation from suffering. Here's an overview of the Four Noble Truths. The truth of suffering, dukkha. The first noble truth acknowledges the existence of suffering or unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, as an inherent part of human existence. This suffering can manifest in various forms, including physical pain, mental distress, and the impermanence of joy and pleasure. The truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya. The second noble truth identifies the cause of suffering as craving, tanha, and attachment. According to the Buddha, the root of suffering lies in our desires and attachments, which lead to an endless cycle of craving and clinging. The truth of the end of suffering, nirodha. The third noble truth proclaims that there is a way to end suffering. The cessation of suffering comes through the cessation of craving and attachment. By eliminating the causes of suffering, one can attain a state of liberation, known as nirvana. The truth of the path to the end of suffering, magga. The fourth noble truth outlines the Eightfold Path as the means to end suffering. The Eightfold Path consists of ethical and mental guidelines that, when followed, lead to the cessation of craving and the attainment of nirvana. The path includes right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These four noble truths serve as the foundation of Buddhist philosophy and practice, offering a framework for understanding the nature of existence, the causes of suffering, and the path to liberation. The Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of self-awareness, ethical conduct, and mental discipline as essential components of the path to enlightenment. It's important to note that the term suffering, dukkha, in Buddhism encompasses a broader range of unsatisfactory experiences, and the goal is not merely to alleviate momentary discomfort but to achieve a profound and lasting liberation from the cycle of birth and death, samsara. The Four Noble Truths provide a roadmap for individuals seeking a path to enlightenment and freedom from the cycle of suffering. Heraclitus, an ancient Greek philosopher who lived around 535 to 475 BCE, is known for his doctrine of constant change and the idea that change is the only constant. His philosophical perspective is encapsulated in fragments of his work, as much of his writings have been lost. The key concept associated with Heraclitus is panta rhei, often translated as everything flows or everything is in flux. Here are the main aspects of Heraclitus's philosophy. Doctrine of change. Heraclitus is famous for asserting that change is fundamental to the nature of the universe. He believed that everything is in a state of constant flux, and permanence is an illusion. His well-known statement, "You cannot step into the same river twice," illustrates his view that the river is always changing, and the person stepping into it is also changing. Unity of opposites. Heraclitus suggested that opposites are interconnected and depend on each other. For example, he proposed that life and death, day and night, hot and cold, are not separate entities but are different aspects of the same underlying reality. He famously stated, "Strife is justice, and injustice is strife," emphasizing the interconnectedness of opposites. Fire as the primary element. Heraclitus believed that fire was the fundamental substance or principle underlying all things. He saw fire not just as a physical element but as a symbol of transformation and change. The constant process of transformation, according to Heraclitus, is akin to the eternal fire. Logos, reason or word. Heraclitus introduced the concept of the logos, an underlying principle or order that governs the universe. The logos represents a rational and organizing force that maintains harmony amid the constant flux. Heraclitus considered the logos to be a divine and universal reason guiding the cosmos. Individual identity and universal change. Heraclitus challenged the notion of a stable and unchanging reality. He believed that individual entities have no fixed identity but are part of a dynamic and ever-changing reality. The unity of opposites and the concept of change as a fundamental principle underlie his rejection of static and fixed notions. Philosophical influence. Heraclitus's ideas had a profound impact on the development of Western philosophy. His emphasis on change and the interconnectedness of opposites contributed to later philosophical discussions on the nature of reality, the problem of identity, and the dynamics of the natural world. Heraclitus's philosophy, while not fully preserved in his own words, has left an enduring legacy. His emphasis on the impermanence of all things and the interconnectedness of opposites challenges conventional notions of stability and encourages a deeper understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence. Cicero, a Roman statesman, orator, and philosopher who lived from 106 BCE to 43 BCE, wrote a famous essay titled On Friendship, De Amicitia in Latin. In this work, Cicero explores the nature of true friendship, its value, and the qualities that define a strong and enduring bond between individuals. Here are some key themes from Cicero's On Friendship. Friendship as the highest good. Cicero begins by asserting that friendship is the most significant of all virtues and the cornerstone of a virtuous life. He places great value on genuine and reciprocal friendships, considering them essential for personal happiness and moral development. Equality in friendship. Cicero emphasizes the importance of equality between friends. True friendship, according to him, involves mutual respect, shared values, and a sense of balance in the relationship. Friends should be equals, each contributing to the well-being of the other. Virtue and friendship. Cicero argues that true friendship can only exist between virtuous individuals. Virtue serves as the foundation for a strong and lasting bond, as friends must share common values and moral principles. The virtues of honesty, loyalty, and integrity are particularly highlighted. Shared interests and values. Cicero suggests that friends should have common interests and goals. Shared values, intellectual pursuits, and a mutual commitment to virtue contribute to the depth and richness of the friendship. The role of virtue in friendship. Cicero asserts that virtue is the driving force behind true friendship. Friends should inspire each other to lead virtuous lives, and the virtues of the individual should complement and strengthen the virtues of the friend. Reciprocity and mutual aid. Cicero emphasizes the idea of mutual aid and support in friendship. Friends should be willing to help and sacrifice for each other, creating a bond that goes beyond mere convenience or utility. Endurance through adversity. According to Cicero, the true test of friendship is how well it endures in times of adversity. Genuine friends stand by each other in both good and bad times, demonstrating loyalty and steadfastness. Emotional support and understanding. Cicero acknowledges the emotional aspect of friendship, emphasizing the importance of understanding and emotional support. Friends should be able to confide in each other, share joys and sorrows, and provide comfort in times of need. Aristocratic ideal of friendship. Cicero's concept of friendship reflects an aristocratic ideal, where friends are considered comrades in virtue and share a commitment to a higher moral standard. This ideal aligns with Cicero's broader views on the role of virtue in a flourishing society. Cicero's On Friendship continues to be a celebrated work on the philosophy of friendship, exploring the ethical dimensions and personal fulfillment that genuine companionship can bring. His insights have resonated through the centuries, influencing discussions on the nature and value of friendship in various cultural and philosophical traditions. These ancient philosophers' teachings offer valuable insights into leading a purposeful and virtuous life, focusing on self-awareness, ethical behavior, and the pursuit of wisdom. Learning and applying these principles earlier in life can contribute to personal growth and overall well-being.